the lessons that you've learned over your career, and looking at both with people, with the industry itself, what kind of stands out in your mind as far as things that you've learned about this industry itself, how it differentiates from other things that you could have considered doing, and also some ideas or stories about that, if you have something to share?
Everything still first comes back to reputation. I sit there, I have my name on the company. The name is on all the leasing signs throughout the city. I like the reputation I have at this point in my life, more so than owning another piece of real estate. I give a story of this. When I first came to Washington in 1973, I'm 23 years old, and this developer who is maybe 15 or 20 years older than me, and so I was 23, so he's 38, and he has actually been quite successful out there. And I met him at a party or a reception, and he was always very nice to me as a young, scared person coming to Washington and going into the real estate business. And today I'm 69, so he's got to be 85. I remember a year or so ago, I was at a dinner in a restaurant, and he came over to me and he put his arm on my shoulder and he said, "Gary," and he's a very, very successful 85-year-old real estate developer at this time, one of the largest real estate developers in Washington, D.C. And he came over and he put his arm on my shoulder and he said, "Gary, I hear that you're doing very well, but more importantly, I hear that you're a really good man, and I'm proud of you." And he walked away. Or at least we talked, and then he walked away. And I could tell you, I never will ever forget that, because what he basically showed me was that my model is correct. What my dad told me is correct. I receive more satisfaction at this point in my life when I go to an event that's not real estate, a charitable event, or anything outside of our business, and someone comes over to me and says the same thing, that I hear you're a good man. And I don't think there's anything more important than that. And that's what I've always strived for. And I always talk about that with everybody in the company. We talk about setting that philosophy through the company. Every time we have a meeting every 3 months with everyone in the company, we have new people in the company, and we have to make sure that they understand the philosophy that's set through this company from me down, and how they deal with tenants, how they deal with vendors, how they deal with bankers, how they deal with partners. Every day, again, I always say to everybody, we want to be considered good business people, but first we want to be considered good people.
So that segues into what I think is maybe a related question. What advice would you give your 25-year-old